Hey guys, so I just got back from a movie night at a friend's house and I just wanted to jump on and talk about the movie a bit. So it was Coherence and it was actually from about 2014, I think. So it's quite an old film now. But I just wanted to give like a few facts of the film because I found them super interesting when I read up on it afterwards. It was actually made by a guy who just kept getting rejected. Hey Lil, she wants to come in the vid. By a guy that just kept on getting rejected, and he decided to just make this film off his own back, and it was a £50,000 budget. And some of the things that about the way he filmed and wrote this is super, super interesting. So, basically, there was no real script to this film. So he would have all the actors and actresses show up that didn't actually even know each other. And they would kind of be given little elements and clips of what they were doing, but they wouldn't know what the end of the film was. They wouldn't know what was happening the next day, and they wouldn't actually know each other or anything about each other's characters. So it has a really, when you're watching it, you can pick this up because it doesn't feel like it's acted or it doesn't feel like a Hollywood movie. It really does feel like it's a group of people getting to know each other and having a conversation, actually. So yeah, that was another fact about it, that apparently when he was filming it, so he actually filmed this in his house on a tiny budget. And apparently his wife was pregnant and she said that it was okay for him to film it in the house as long as he was done within 5 days. So this whole thing was filmed within 5 days on a shoestring budget, hardly anyone working, and the actors and actresses were not given their script in advance. They were just given little bits each day, and so they actually, everything was a surprise to them, and they actually had to find out about the other characters by asking them. Very, very unusual setup for a film. Without giving too much away, so basically the idea is that it's a group of people that go to a dinner party, like friends, and they bring their partners, etc. And there's a comet that passes over. And there's a concept that when a comet passes over, according to history, that essentially it allows multiple realities to be aware of each other at the same time. So as we all have these multiple realities, suddenly they all open up and they're all available and you can intermix and you can cross over. So I don't want to give too much of it away because I really recommend watching it. But so for example, this dinner party come across themselves at a dinner party and they all begin interacting with one another, and so you start to see people interacting with themselves in other realities, right? And then at the end something happens. I don't want to give the plot away, so I don't want to go into any more detail. But what I really love about this film is it just really highlights to me the idea of how multiple realities work. I was really impressed with like how it all started together. So the idea that we have all these different realities that can stem from, every thought and action we have spins off and creates its own reality, because that's what happened in the film. So they started out at the dinner party, and through various thoughts and actions of each individual character, some of the houses ended up with like crazy fights, and some of them were like happier than others. Some of them stuff happened, some of them stuff didn't happen. So there was all different spin-offs from just different thoughts and different actions that went on within the characters. And the thing that really got to me in this film was that at the end you kind of really had that feeling of how there is only one consciousness, like how only your consciousness really exists, and that you have other people coming and playing in your circle and coming and playing your game, but that you are your independent like consciousness in the reality, and that other people are kind of actors in your play, to a sense that yes, they might have their own little plays going on, but in your play they are just the actors to your play. And this film really highlights it, because one of the main characters in this ends up essentially realizing that she's in a house with not her original house members, right? So all the people that she thought she'd bonded with and she was friends with, suddenly she was completely alone, and she was the only one that really actually knew what was going on and knew who she was. And I feel like I just feel like it's a really good film to watch if you're interested in this kind of stuff, because it really made me realize how everyone jumps in and plays the game, and they play in our reality, but that at the end of the day, the only person that really has consciousness in your reality is you. And that's really what this film represented for me. But it's really, really interesting. And definitely the way it's filmed, you can really tell how it was filmed, because it really doesn't feel like it's acted or it's a big Hollywood production. It's a very, very cool film. It leaves on a bit of a cliffhanger that could become a sequel, but since there is no sequel yet, then I assume that's not happening, but who knows. But yeah, check it out. I'm a bit knackered. I actually have been rubbing my eyes as well, so I think I've got like panda eyeliner eyes, but I just wanted to jump on before, like, while it was still fresh, before I forgot what happened. But yeah, do watch it and let me know if you already have watched it, what you think. Good night.